So the debt under the Liberals is continuing to skyrocket by the year, by the day it seems. And it just came out on December 16th, so yesterday, that the debt is higher, quite a bit higher than they were originally expecting it to be, which is already pretty high. Now, the number for 2019-20 is at 26.6 billion, up from the projected 19.8 in the federal budget. The debt for 2020-2021 is going to be expected to be, which again, the number here is, about 7 billion higher than they projected it to be. So they projected the 2020-2021 debt to be 27.4. It's projected to be 28.1 now, and I would bet money that it's going to be probably in the 30 to 35 billion range with the rate that they're going at. But the gist of the story here is that the government has no, I mean, the liberal government has no, they don't care whatsoever about the debt. And there's so many aspects that I could bring up here, but the first one I just wanted to bring up is that to tie it in with climate change, they claim to care so much about climate change, and for the simple reason that if climate change is a thing and it's something that we really need to worry about, which we don't, but let's just assume we do, then it's because we want to leave a better world for the next generation and the generation after that, and so on and so forth. But if that's your reason for claiming to care about climate change, which is the only reason, then you should care a lot about the debt too, because debts have to be paid back. If debts don't have to be paid back, then why not just give everybody, $10,000, $20,000, $100,000 a year? Like, why not just do that? If debts aren't an issue, going to be an issue going forward, then there's no reason not to go into more. Like, just give every low income person, houses, cars, everything. But that would expose the doublethink and the logical fallacy in their thinking. And so, I mean, that's obvious. That's the point I wanted to tie it into. The other point is that the left, the far left, I mean, they're far left, but they'll never admit to being far left. Far leftists will always claim to be moderates, at least almost always. But the problem with that is if you're a moderate leftist, you genuinely believe in the idea of Keynesianism. Now, it's an economic theory, basically, to sum it up in the shortest way you can, that when the economy is not doing very good, you use small amounts of debt to stimulate the economy. And when the economy speeds up or gets better, you cut out the debt. You no longer run deficits. The problem is that they run deficits year after, at least the left, and I mean the traditional conservatives do this not quite to the same extent, but at least the economy does well under a traditional conservative government. They're still running debts, but at least the economy is better. Trump is a prime example of this. But anyways, getting back to Canada, they continuously run debt after debt and massive amounts of debt, but they never stop. So they don't believe in Keynesianism, which a moderate leftist or a traditional liberal, that's the economic system they'll generally identify under. And since they don't do that, well, then it's safe to assume that they're just far leftist. And the problem with that is they're going to continuously run massive amounts of debt, free healthcare, massive welfare programs, all this kind of stuff. And what happens with that kind of stuff is that eventually it goes belly up, it collapses. And the point I want to get across is that if we don't get a handle on this, things are going to get really bad. And the thing that bothers me is that whenever someone proposes, cutting, maybe not getting rid of free healthcare altogether, but making cuts to welfare, making it harder, at least maybe not, you can't permanently be on welfare, whatever policy you want to propose, just making it so people have less of an incentive to be on it. People inevitably give you the, oh, well, your poor people are going to suffer and maybe even die because of this. And number one, that's untrue. I mean, the only people that suffer are the people that are suffering regardless. The people that are poor because of bad luck, or they're on welfare because they lost their job, they want a job but they can't get one, those kind of people won't suffer because they'll only temporarily need the program, and they'll have no trouble getting charity. But that's another video or argument in and of itself. The point being is that those kind of people are going to suffer a lot, because when the system goes belly up, they're so reliant on government, on the free healthcare, on the welfare, all that kind of stuff, that it's all going to be gone like that. Like I mean, you might not wake up one day and it be gone, but maybe within a year or two, it can be going from going along just fine to it being completely gone. And we need to figure out something to wean people like that off of it, to wean the government, I mean the government too, off this crazy spending, because like I say, at some point it's going to go belly up, and when it does, the people that are really relying on it, the people that the left always claims to care so much about, the people that always argue for the free healthcare and the welfare claim to care so much about, those are the people that are going to be hurt the most. So again, those are the couple points I just wanted to go over. But again, like how many times the last point I'll bring up is how many times do they have to lie to us? Like the true, I mean the famous quote, budgets balance themselves. I mean that's laughable. I mean to anyone with a brain, but they said by 2019 or 2020, I forget which year it was, one of the two, they're going to balance the budget, and they did. The debt is worse than ever, and I don't get it that people just, I mean, it's just pure self interest. Like that's what voting is. That I really can't stand people claim that, oh, we have just a small disagreement. No, it's you're just voting in your own self interest, and your self interest is different than my self interest. Like, let's not sugarcoat it. Let's not lie to people anymore. Let's just be honest that